Hello, everybody, and welcome to Episode 1, Season 2 of A Troupe of Players. I am your GM, Chris Maclean. Oh me, oh my, oh me. I am so excited to be in front of this microphone with all my lovely friends around the table. Or rather, in front of their own microphones separately, because we filmed this over Discord. But that's okay. The love travels through the internet. The passion for the show sure does too. Mike Jones, I love you so much. Welcome to Season 2. How you feeling, buddy?
You know, I'm feeling good. Things are looking good. Season 2.
Why would you say things are looking good, Michael?
Oh, you know, we had a great cliffhanger. I thought
That's
season
true.
1 we had some great interplay. So
Yeah.
I think that we have a lot to look forward to in season 2.
Yeah, you're right.
And nothing else.
Nothing else. Not a single thing. Okay, everyone. As of we're recording this, Mike just got engaged. Yay! Oh, we're so happy for you, Mike. Congratulations, buddy.
Thank you. It's wild.
I promise to torture Atlas more to compensate. You can only be so happy in your personal life and in the game, so I have to karmically balance the scales.
I wouldn't have it any other way.
Tati, I hope you're not too happy. So Gwen's safe. I'm sorry, Tati. How are you, girl?
I'm good. I'm doing great. Happy to be back in Chicago. We're officially moved to Chicago now.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Don't dox yourself.
Only a couple more boxes left. And then I can breathe again.
That's so
definitely
awesome.
excited to be here for season 2. A little break in the madness, if you will.
Yes, absolutely. Oh my goodness. Alex, girl, little ray of sunshine. How you doing, sweetie?
I'm great. My life is very normal. There is nothing going on with me right now. It's magical.
Excellent. Karma has saved Suri. I mean, outside of the fact that where I left her at the end of season 1.
It's fine. She can be a mess as long as I'm okay in my regular life.
Okay, that's fair. You know what? That's fair. I'll accept that. Hey, Tyler, you're also here. Hi, buddy.
Hey, man.
How are you doing? I'm
good. I mean, everything's terrible. Everything's absolutely awful. Someone touched all my stuff on the ship, and I'm very upset. That's my biggest pet peeve, and I'm peeved.
Not only did they touch it, they broke it.
Oh, that's 10 times worse.
I know. I'm sorry. I'm not sorry.
I hate you. I hate you. I can't do this. I gotta go. Sorry.
Little did we know this was the last episode featuring Travis.
Resigns.
Rest in peace forever.
Oh, God. Hi, honey.
Hi.
My wife, Sharon. I love you.
Love you too.
You excited to be here for season 2, honey?
Yeah, I also just realized who you are as a DM, and it's the librarian from Bob's Burgers in that one episode where he's the cheerleading coach.
Aww.
Real talk. In a previous campaign, I was given a gift with a phrase that I said a lot during the campaign, which was, Daddy loves his drama. With a triumph symbol and a despair symbol next to it. I was given the outline to turn it into a bumper sticker, and I have a patch of it to put it on a vest that one of my players hand embroidered. It's one of my favorite things that I own. It's incredible. Now I just need a vest to put it on. Folks, I am so excited to introduce a new player to the table. He's one of the best human beings I have ever known in my entire life. He's an awesome role player. I'm so excited to have him at the table. Everyone, please welcome my brother, Connor Maclean. Hey, Connor, welcome to the show.
Hi, don't lie to them too early so quick. Jeez.
I was going to make a similar joke, but you just did it to yourself. So
That is some high praise, and that is one hell of a bar that I'm going to have to meet. But thank you. It's happy to be here. I'm sorry I couldn't be here earlier, but season 2, I'm happy to be here.
We're happy that you're here too. We've been trying to get Connor on the show for a couple minutes now, so to speak, but life and logistics unfortunately made that a little trickier than we wanted. But here he is, and he's going to be with us for the whole season. We're so excited to have him. And speaking of the season, let's recap the story so far. So, the story really kicked off the beginning. I'll preface what led us to episode 1. So, as a reminder, Suriel has a giant dimensional rift in its world that just pours monsters out into the ocean. So the ocean is just full to the tits with monsters. And For some reason, no one knows why, the sea level all over the planet started rising. And it forced millions of people all over the world inland, just totally displaced a lot of folks because A, monsters, but B, simply because it was rising, it destroyed infrastructure and crops and all that stuff that people need to live. And then, just as suddenly, for no explanation, it stopped. No one knows if it's going to start up again. No one knows what happened. So this led to our dear Cassandra praying to her god, who she received a vision. She asked the question, something to the effect of like, how do I solve this? What's the reason for it? And she received a vision of a sun and a hawk. So with the help of her best friend, Gwen Godwin, and Gwen's tutor, I think we agreed. You were her tutor, Atlas?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Friend.
Yeah. Tutor and friend and low-key paternal figure, Atlas White, who agreed to head out to find the info informant Sunhawk, because, hey, a sun and a hawk, and this person can do this. Gwen had her own objectives for going there because she had found some evidence that her father might have been up to some shady things. So together they hired the services of Captain Suriel Hawk and the overworked, underpaid engineer Travis Evans, the crew
Amen.
of the smuggler ship, the Scarlet Wren. Together, they all flew out to the capital city of the Republic of Coveland to meet with Sunhawk. The team basically put together that the information that they seek is going to be within the mansion of J.D. Pierce III, an industrialist and a Baron Harkonnen-ass motherfucker. That reference is going to hit a lot better now because Dune the movie is out, the new one.
What a cut.
Yeah, so they all raided the place in the middle of a gala, and Suri and Travis and Sunhawk were able to acquire a journal that belonged to Sunhawk's older brother, Sol Solaris. What a wonderful comic book name. And some definitive proof that Gwen's dad was up to some seriously shady crap. So they all get together and they decide, you know what, we need to do something about this. And the journal is encoded in a dead language. So they need to do something about the journal because they know the journal is linked to the water level rising. And obviously, Gwen's dad is into some shady crap and we need to expose that. So the team headed out and they stopped to help a wandering alchemist in need named Garrett Anders. On that particular quest, unfortunately, Sunhawk was killed. And the team had a really nice burial service for her. It was very sweet. And after the funeral, Garrett was able to give them the names of 2 contacts within the city of Platea, where they were heading to get the journal decoded. One, Oliver Ronan, a member of the anarchist cell known as the Coven, an organization made up of illegal mages in the Empire of Eudraria. And a nobleman also within the Empire named Baron Eric Verne. When the team made it to Platea, they found out that their names were plastered all over the papers, as Gwen and Cassandra were claimed to have been kidnapped by Suri and Travis. So they make their way through Platea, disguised beautifully in greasy rags provided by our dear Travis Evans, as we make it to the office of Atlas's peer, mentor, tormentor, boyfriend?
My mentor.
Boyfriend.
Mentor.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Earnestly mentor.
Barnabas Glass, who says that he can translate the journal, but it's going to take him at least a month in order to get through it. The team then made contact with both Oliver and Eric. Oliver said he would be happy to get some additional dirt on Gwen's dad, but it would take time. And Eric suggested, in order to keep Gwen and Cassandra from being disappeared or ferried off, that they get them into the public spotlight. So if they get disappeared, it'll make a big ruckus. Eric's plan is to introduce Cassandra to the Emperor in person and have her show up in her official capacity as the speaker for the teacher, the messiah, really, of the most dominant religion on the planet. And while the team was debating what the next course of action should be, they return to the Scarlet Wren to find that the ship has been crippled. The primary power source of a large Gaiacite crystal ripped right out of the ship's hull. And, well, not the hull, but you know what I mean. It was viciously torn apart. And in blood written on the wall was, "You must pay for the sins of Solaris."
Also, there was a dead guy on the ship.
Yeah, it was his blood.
Yeah, I know, but like that seems like a real important thing. Like this guy died.
His
That's
name was
really
Percy.
sad.
He had a family.
Oh, God!
Was Percy the shipwright, so to speak?
Yeah, he was the port authority that you guys met with, and he covered for you guys so you guys wouldn't be immediately arrested upon landing.
Okay, but the fact that you were like, he had a family, you really wanted to just dig the knife in there and ruin us.
I mean, yeah.
Just so casual, just the brutality here. Just so casual.
Yeah, I mean, he has people who loved him, and their lives are never going to be the same. The trajectory has been permanently altered, and they'll probably be traumatized for the rest of their lives. Maybe they won't even work through it.
Welcome to your Draria, bud.
Anyways, we're here to have a fun, good time with wacky weeb shit.
Yeah, Troupe of players. Family friendly, we promise.
Oh, goodness. So we're going...
Depends on the family.
I mean, it's, look, if in a family film like Star Wars, it is heavily implied that Anakin Skywalker massacred a bunch of children, then I can do this.
I don't know that was heavily implied. I thought that was just directly stated.
Heavily implied. I mean, he did do that.
We didn't visually see anything. For all we know, he could
No,
have
but it
cut a
was-
hole in the window and let them escape.
No, it wasn't implied.
But Obi-Wan Kenobi says that we have you on video killing younglings.
Are we really gonna get into this in our own show? Is this where we are right now?
Yes, this is where we always are.
Chris, you're the one who's in charge.
How sidetracked are we going now? Oh my gosh.
You're right. I'm sorry. Mitch, keep all this in.
I literally wake up in this spot.
It's so us. It's so us.
Anyways, we are going to pick up literally exactly where we left off. So you guys have just come down the gangplank where you've seen bloody footprints leaving the Scarlet Wren. You walk in there, you see the cage that was containing the crystal and allowed the magical energy to be transferred to the rest of the ship has been torn apart as though through some monstrous strength or some gross tool, but it's not pretty. It's heavily damaged. The Gaiacite crystal is missing without any fragments or anything on the ground, but what is on the ground, unfortunately, is dear dead Percy, with his throat slit, and on the wall of the ship is painted in his blood, "You must pay for the sins of Solaris." And yeah, that's where you are. That's what you see.
Well, the blood's just unnecessary. That's...
Ah! God damn it! I'm screaming.
Screaming.
I'm kicking things. I'm punching the boat. I'm like, ah! And I go run onto the ship to look at the state of the engine room.
Suri is shell-shocked. There is no movement. There is complete and total just freeze.
I love how Travis just went right past the dead guy. And just went straight into the ship.
Just like kicks him over with his
The
foot. Like,
Like, he trips over it and then looks back and kicks his leg and then keeps going.
Yeah, that's canon. Yeah.
Cassandra goes over to Percy's dead body and just like kneels next to it and sort of stares into his dead eyes, horrified.
God, you've seen so many corpses in the last couple of weeks.
Too many corpses, maybe.
Once Suri gets a little like bearings, when she rips off her sleeve and goes and like vigorously tries to wipe the blood off the ship. Like no words, just vigorously trying to wipe that blood off. I don't know if it's working, but it's the only thing she can think to do at the moment.
So kind of seeing everyone in this state of duress, I look to Suri and I say, "We can't keep this ship here."
We can't fly the ship.
I look to the footsteps. Where the footsteps coming from, Chief?
They lead from the dead body, just out. Like, it's very clear they slit the throat, they painted the message, and then they bounced.
Can I trace them back?
Yeah, you should be able to.
I'm going to trace them back a little bit. Use some of my detective work, the little I used.
Yeah. Go ahead and make a perception check for me. This is going to be a bit of a trickier roll. You're going to roll 3 purples and a black.
Oh.
Wow. Yeah. Okay. So here's what I'm going to say. The trail is not super hot because the blood, it does eventually, it's a dock. There's been a lot of movement and a lot of people are moving around and stuff, so it does get scuffed up. However, you are able to ascertain that they did leave the ship and they looked like they were heading for the main corridors on the first level. So it doesn't look like they were heading up to any of the stairs, like to head to the second level or to the surface. That's as much as you can ascertain at this moment in time.
Gwen goes over to Cassandra and puts her hand on her shoulder, understanding how difficult it is for Cassandra to keep seeing people dying, feeling like she can't save them in time. And then she walks over to the blood on the wall and just is standing in front of it, staring at it, very disturbed. It's one thing to kill someone, it's another thing to take the time to use their blood to write out a message. Like, that's some serial killer shit right there. And she's wondering who would do this. Does she recognize the penmanship? I mean, not that you could have penmanship when you're using someone's blood to write on a wall. But hey, shot in the dark.
Yeah, roll knowledge calligraphy. No, I'm kidding. No, Gwen does not. There's no identifying way to recognize that.
Okay.
How dry is the blood? As Suri's wiping it, she's noticing, how dry is it?
That's a good question.
Oh, God, I'm not a forensic guy. Let me put it like this. Suri would know that it was done, like, at least an hour and a half ago.
Okay. So there's no way we're going to trace this dude. All right.
You do have magic. You also have friends who have eyes all over the city. I would say that might be worth pointing out.
From the engine room, there's a bunch of dings and bangs. You hear shit flying all over the place, and me going, and then I kick the door down, and I cock a rifle, and I go, "Touch my stuff!" And then I come out and sling the rifle over my shoulder, and I'm like, "All right, we gotta find these bastards fast."
And Suri finally coming to her senses goes, Travis, wait. We have to do this methodically. We can't just run into the city and yell who hurt our ship. That won't work.
Well, why the hell not?
You will die. We can't do that. We need to speak to the Coven. We need to find Oliver again. Or we need to find someone who can track down this person. Maybe an informant, an old friend, maybe a policeman that we know.
Oh, God. Not that guy.
Who are you talking about?
Well, we have some connections with some people that I don't particularly like to work with because they work with the law enforcement, but...
He's a goddamn narc, okay?
He's
a goddamn narc.
He's not a narc. He has some information, and I think that we should seek him out. His name is Jack Harrison.
I don't know. I don't exactly get along with law enforcement.
Do I look like we get along?
Jeez, finally, someone is talking some sense here.
Does it look like I get along with law enforcement?
Well, I can tell you one thing. You're buddy with Jack all the damn time.
We have worked together like 3 times. 3 times! Listen, I'm going to reach out. We're gonna see if he can help us. You're going to go back to your engine room and cool off. And then we will figure out what to do. So, I'm gonna reach out to the altitude exchange. That's how I'm gonna get in contact with him. So are we all gonna have to go as a team to go together, or?
I don't want to stay on the ship with a dead body.
Also, is anyone gonna tell poor Percy's family?
No.
No.
Percy had one job. He literally had one job.
Okay, but also we're going to the law enforcement for a reason. Like, law enforcement usually has to tell the family.
So I would like to say we have not actually explained what the altitude exchange is yet, because the altitude exchange has not come up in canon. So the altitude exchange is basically a giant flying city And when I say city, I mean Mos Eisley. It is technically viewed as like a legal entity, and it does do a lot of legal shit. But if you want something done illegally, then odds are you can get it done on or through the exchange. And through the exchange, you would be able to leave a message through various entities and agencies and stuff to make sure that it made its way into the hands of one Marshal Jack Harrison. And thing number 2 is, yeah, you could go as a group or individually, but from a meta perspective, do you want to split the party?
No, the correct answer is always no.
Yes, to make Chris mad.
I'm asking if there's it's one of those things where I just run and do it and it's not like part of the play, or if it's like an actual journey we must trek together.
The latter.
Okay.
Let me put it like this. Someone knows that you have the journal.
Mm-hmm.
So do you really want to leave people in a location where they know you will be, and they know you have this journal that was carefully encoded in a dead language because the information is that dangerous?
Suri goes, wait, don't go back to the engine room. We have to go to the second level. We must speak to the altitude exchange. We're all going together. We're going to figure this out. Whoever touched my ship will die 1,000 deaths by the end of the day. I swear to whoever is above, this is the end.
I pictured just like a piece of garbage on like the docking area, and I just fucking kick it as far as I possibly can.
Oh man, he's mad.
Okay, it's fine.
Oh man. It plummets off of the edge and down, and it lands next to someone who's in line to get into the city, and they look down and they look up and they're like, huh, and then they just pick it up and keep it as a keepsake.
I guess I could reach out to Gus too. I know Gus has close ties with the exchange. Oh, yeah. Sorry for those of you who don't know Gus. Gus is an old friend.
I was like,
I'm like, who the fuck is Gus?
Said that so matter-of-factly.
Oh yeah, we all know Gus. He's been here since episode 1.
Who doesn't know Gus?
Gus is an old friend of mine. That's all you need to know.
The most beloved character on the podcast, Gus.
Great. Okay, so I guess we journey on.
You gonna sally forth?
They better follow me.
Yeah.
Serious.
Yeah, we're going.
I guess so.
So are you going down the path where the footsteps led, or are you going towards the stairs to try and immediately go to the second level?
I would go straight to the second level. If it's been an hour and a half, I think Suri's reasoning would be there's no way that this person is not in the vicinity anymore. If they did this, they're gone.
Okay, cool. So you head up the stairs, and as you're milling around, and the stone is a dark, dark, dark red. And at one point, it was kind of a beautiful orangish red clay color that you find like in Red Rocks Park in Colorado. And it's been hollowed out and smoothed over hundreds of years of people living here. And recently, it's just been covered in ash and soot. And so what was once beautiful is instead kind of turned into a almost hellish color of brick. And all the buildings are carved out of it and placed on it. There's some wood structures as well. The place generally smells of sweat and sick and death and smoke. It is not a pleasant place to be in, but life continues, and people are trying to eke out a living here. And as you are rounding a corner, a man running for his life sprints past you, screaming, oh God, no, it's after me! And a giant cat pounces on his back. The cat is a fully grown black, some sort of leopard or panther, as it's pushing this dude to the ground in its entirety with huge wings that are white and black spotted, and it leans its massive mouth down to the back of the man's head and begins growling. And then you hear the sound of spurs walking right by as the city street almost goes dead quiet, and a man walks up, and it's a man you two, Suri and Travis, recognize, but now all of you will have his image burned into your brain. It's Jack Harrison.
Now, all I wanted to do, sir, was just get you to answer a few questions. Instead, what do I have to do? I have to have Cuddles here come over and play catch, all right? And nobody likes playing catch with Cuddles. So how about we go through this again, and let's answer a few questions, sir. Is that going to be all right?
I look over at Gwen and I go, here we go.
He's crying, and he's just like, oh God, please don't kill me, please don't, I don't know nothing, I'll do, I swear.
Hey, just calm down. I'm just asking where I can find the head of the coven. That's all.
I don't.
Think about it. Just take a minute. Pause. Deep breaths. Now, picture in your mind the coven. Where is it located and who is running it?
Suri walks up and goes, what are you doing? You think this little twerp knows where the coven is? Really?
I just look up real quick, realize that it's Suri, and then look around and see the rest of the group behind you. I'm a little confused here, because I know that we've had this conversation about running into each other like this, and that it had to stop, and I'm not supposed to find you like this, especially not when all the newspapers are talking about the fact that you kidnapped two people, one being literally the voice of God, and two, one of the most richest freaking debutantes to ever live. Now you're gonna tell me that this is the time that you would like to run into me when you are committing active crime?
Yes.
I roll a cigarette and light it and I go, hey, Jack.
Hey Travis, how you doing, sir?
Yes, to answer your question, unfortunately, we need you. And Cuddles, I guess.
You guess? You know it's a package deal. Cuddles does not go anywhere without me.
And Cuddles looks up, and in this deep, throaty voice, you just hear Cuddles just go, "Mow, mow."
Yes, I'm sure that's right.
And then goes back to just bearing fangs down on the guy who's still just sobbing softly.
Jack, first of all, can you let the poor man go?
I need to figure out who it is that's leading this dang coven that's brought me the heck all the way out here.
He's not gonna know. He's not gonna know. Look at him. He's peed his pants, okay? Let him go. And then I can introduce you to my friends. Ooh, my acquaintances? These people. We need to move on.
Fine, go on, get. Just be happy that there was a pretty face saying no to you. Otherwise, there'd be a lot more worse that's happening. Now, go on.
And Cuddles kind of regretfully, looks up and is just like, "Mow." But then just gets up off of the guy, and the guy, who did indeed piss his pants, just full-on sprints, keep going down the road. And Cuddles kind of, settles back on his haunch and just starts, cleaning a paw. Just totally disinterested, nothing matters. And the wings kind of jerk a little bit, to get into a more comfortable position. And Cuddles is ignoring everything in the whole world right now.
Jack, this is Cassandra, the speaker. We have Gwen. We have Atlas. We have Travis, obviously. Everyone, this is Jack. And that is Cuddles.
Mow.
Howdy, y'all. My name's Jack Harrison. I'm a Sky Marshal with the Authority and the stuff that they're working on. I'm originally out of the east part of Coveland, but I'm over here trying to figure some stuff out, clearly related to the Coven. And someone here is deciding that they wanted to kidnap two of the most important people. What's going on here?
Oh, no, we haven't been kidnapped. No, that's a common misconception. You see, we hired them to transport us in their vehicle, which just so happens has suddenly been vandalized, I suppose you could say. And we need some authority figure, such as yourself, to help us find whoever's done it.
To be clear, we don't listen to anyone, okay? We can leave whenever we want. So I would just like to make that clear right now that we do not listen to anybody's orders and we are free.
Do you want to say that again?
I go super wide-eyed and I'm just like, hell yeah, to myself. That's awesome.
Suri looks at her and goes, do you want to try that again?
but that happens to be a murdered man on our ship, so if you could help us out with that, that'd be wonderful.
I'm sorry, you're telling me, Suri, you didn't kidnap these two people, but everyone thinks that you kidnapped these two people, but there is a dead body on your ship.
Yes, you didn't do that either, don't worry.
I just want just a look of just complete confusion and shock on Jack Harrison's face of him just being like, how does this continue to get worse every time I run into this person? All right, I'll see what I can do. Cuddles, go see if we can find something about whoever it was that happened to be dead on this ship, unfortunately. God rest their souls.
Oh, we know who it was. His name was Percy.
No, not Travis.
Fuck.
So, at this point, Cuddles, the beautiful Sky Panther, just kind of looks at Jack and, in the very cat way of just very indignantly the equivalent of, can you believe this shit? I just want to be up on a refrigerator. Why are you upsetting me like this? And basically looking at Jack and then just looking over at Suri. And there is a degree of understanding between Jack and Cuddles. Like, Cuddles obviously is not fully sapient, but Cuddles heads over and immediately starts sniffing at Suri's palms because of the blood that was being washed off, and sniffs them, and then looks at Suri, and then this enormous cat just comes up and puts its paws on Suri's shoulders and begins sniffing at her face, and then he kind of goes, "Meow, meow," and then kind of like dismounts, so to speak, like kind of pushes off of you, and then turns and just starts going down the street towards the docks, sniffing very intently.
I turn to Suri and I say whatever Cuddles said, that meow meow. I translate the meow meow.
And it was just like, you're clean.
So I turn to Suri and I go, "You're good. Let's go."
All right.
Suri's just in shock.
Fine.
All right, come on. Let's get a move on if we're gonna get this done.
Okay.
And I'm just gonna start walking towards Cuddles.
I guess I go too.
Guess we'll follow.
In the small mid scene of us like following Cuddles, I turn to Jack and I say, "It's quite a beautiful animal you got there. I haven't seen a Sky Panther like that since my expedition days. How long have you had him?"
Oh, I haven't had him too long. He's been around for maybe, I think he's about 5 or 6 years old, and I got him maybe 3 years ago. I found him as I was out past this area way out in the depths of the east. And from there, I walked into town and saw this creature tied up, opened it up, and apparently it was the mayor's. I did not know that, and we both ran as quickly as possible, and that's been me and Cuddle since then.
Well, I can tell that he respects you a lot. And I reach my hand out in a peace offering.
To Jack?
Yeah, to Jack. I want to shake his hand like I'm a face wrestler at WrestleMania.
Well, I appreciate that, good sir, as I extend my hand out and go to shake his.
It's a beautiful moment of solidarity.
I give a good handshake. I've been doing this a while.
If this was Fabula, I would give you each a bond point. You each strengthen your bond. You feel you know Jack a little better now. So eventually Cuddles makes his way to the ship, and Cuddles is sniffing at Percy and is just kind of looking around and sniffing and then going to the footprints again and keep sniffing, moving around. Eventually, his wings start like flaring out and his tail gets all puffy and there's a low growl, and eventually he kind of shakes it out, but then continues going. And Jack, you recognize this behavior, and it's only in the present of seriously fucking nasty black magic. Like, whoever performed this is a mage, and they are horrible, terrible, no good, very bad man. So you immediately pick that up from Cuddles' description. And by that I mean reaction. which I guess is a description if you're a cat, but I digress. So,
Either way,
Cuddles looks at you and just in a very disgusted voice just says, "Meow." Proceeds up the gangplank, and you see is kind of doing like that cat trot, like when they're moving quickly but still trying to conserve energy, and just moving through. And the crowd just sort of parts like the Red Sea because there's a panther on the street. And a lot of people, you definitely hear like, bloody hell, and what the fuck? And just a bunch of variations of like, cat? As Cuddles is moving down the street. I'm assuming you all follow Cuddles.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Reluctantly.
Well, Cuddles has picked up on something. Not quite sure what, but let's keep on following.
Cassandra's just going to... I'm assuming she's probably standing next to Gwen at the time and just sort of grabs her hand and leans in and just says, I'm assuming it's going to get worse before it's going to get better.
Unfortunately, yes, that's exactly how it is.
We've got to find this person as fast as possible. I hope this man and his cat can help.
Yes, I hope so too. But, we're following him because we want to, not because he told us to, right?
Yes. Yes, what?
Okay, great. As long as we're in agreement here.
How very edgy of you.
How very teenager of you. I love it so much. Gwen really showing her age there. Oh, man. Okay. So you keep moving forward, and Cuddles, you see, is starting to pause a bit more and keep sniffing. The trail is beginning to fade a little bit, which is upsetting to Cuddles. Because normally, Cuddles is a lot better at scenting things than this, and Cuddles is becoming very agitated. And as you move further and further, Gwen, the mark on your neck starts to itch. And eventually, Cuddles gets to an intersection and looks extremely confused. Like when cats have object permanence and you did a magic trick in front of them and they don't understand what's going on. And just Cuddles looks extremely frustrated, and he looks back at Jack and just goes, "Meow meow."
And I translate.
And Cuddles goes, "It's invisible. It's not gone. I know it's here, but it's not."
And I turn to Jack and I say, he says that he knows it's here, but it's not gone, but it's invisible? Question mark?
Hang on, wait. Are you talking to that fucking cat?
Wait. Cuddles can talk to you?
Mow mow? And you understand Cuddles says, "Jack can't understand me?"
No.
Well, first of all, he's very surprised that you never understood him in the first place. Maybe that's something that you two should talk about. No, it's a trick I picked up along with some of the earlier teachings of primal magic. I picked up a little skill or two, being able to learn history and about nature from, well, the locals, as it were, is truly something I pride myself in.
Holy shit!
Well, I'll be.
And Cuddles is clearly very agitated, and he starts moving. You see there's one spot that he keeps moving around, and he bats at it. He's very flummoxed. This is a very flummoxed cat.
I see him to do this, and I'm like, oh lord, he mad.
Meanwhile, Gwen is just furiously scratching at her neck. It's very uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know exactly what's going to happen now, unfortunately.
What does that mean? What do you mean you don't know what's going to happen now?
Well, I mean, Cuddle here obviously got the that panther sense going and is finding something right around this spot. However, I don't know about you, but I don't see nothing. Do you see anything there?
Is there any way I could try to see if there's any dispel magic rune I could run on this piece of shit?
Yeah, you could totally try and do that. That's going to be an opposed magic check. So to clarify, you're trying to inscribe a rune on the ground and then use that to disrupt the energy to try and break the spell that's masking the blood.
Yeah, basically be able to inscribe a rune that in a small area would dispel any magical effect, like a a temporary one permanently and any permanent one temporarily.
Okay, yeah, that tracks. So here's what I'm going to say. Make a rune check against 2 reds and a purple.
4 successes and 2 threats.
So here's what I'm going to say happens. You do successfully upset some of the magical energy in the area. What you aren't expecting is that there's a lot. Like, normally this would be like a very casual spell in order to upset.
Yeah.
But for some reason, like, this is maybe 3 or 4 times the amount of effort that someone put into masking something like this. So someone really, really did not want to be followed. And because of that magical backlash that you weren't expecting, you're going to take double the strain it would normally cost. So take 4 strain.
Oh no. How could you?
Quite easily. It's in the rules. But you do this, and all of the spellcasting characters in the party, you all feel a kind of like walking under power lines in the rain. I don't know if any of you have done that, but just this sense of intense, constrained energy right above you. Not enough to like make your hair stand on edge, but just enough to understand that there is a lot going on around you. And Cuddles, you see, kind of perks up and rushes forward down the street, very excited, and is actually moving so fast that before any of you can even react, he's well down the street.
Let's fucking go.
God damn it, Cuddles, I've said this before, I've said this again, why you gotta go without me?
Momo!
Yeah, let's go.
Yeah, I assume we're all just sprinting after this cat.
Yeah.
Jack's booking it at this point.
Yeah. Looking so dumb, probably. Like,
Oh, for the love of God, please tell me that you guys are at least wearing your magic disguise outfits.
I don't think we are.
I'm missing a sleeve, but yes. They're still the ones from the party, right?
They're the ones that Autumn made for you.
Yeah.
Well, we didn't change clothes at any point.
Oh, that's true. Yeah, I am.
Cool. Yeah. I just wanted to make sure, because otherwise I was gonna have to roll some dice. Yeah, you successfully go, and you're running up, and Cuddles stops at a wall, a man-made structure, this made of stone from outside the mesa, and begins kind of like scratching at the wall. It's maybe 15 feet high. There is little distinction between the floor and the ceiling. Like, this is just basically built in. There's no way to go over this wall. And Cuddles is extremely grumpy about that. And a quick inspection shows that this is like a police station.
Oh. Jack, is your cat turning us in?
I knew it. I knew this was all a big setup.
See, that's why we have our saying in the archaeology business. I don't fuck with no cops.
Barnabas has that tattooed on his chest.
I knew this was going to be a problem character. Now hold on, everyone. All right, now let's just calm down for a second and think this through for a minute. All right, Cuddles, are we actually trying to turn him in?
Mau.
No, this is just where the side can too.
Mau.
I respect his privacy. I don't listen.
You don't listen? You're too angry?
Please, we need you to listen.
Like, I hear it, but I don't turn it on.
Cuddles says that this is where the scent of the killer is. So this is where we need to go to.
Can you understand, Cuddles?
I've been working with Cuddles for 30 years, okay? Me and Cuddles have a sense of respect, all right? And she follows my commands when I say 66% of the time. It works every time.
Jack, I need you to go into that police station and figure out what's going on. We can't go in there. There's no way we're going in there.
I mean, I suppose I could flash a badge and whatnot, but I'm not exactly, have really any authority outside of the Republic of Coleman, specifically, Eastern Coleman, so.
Have you abducted a child? Because apparently we have, so you have to figure this out.
I did not abduct a child. I resent that remark. Excuse me very much.
Excuse me, I'm talking about myself, sir, and I need you to get it together.
And there is a sharp whistle from someone whistling with fingers. And you turn, and you see there's a thin man, very willowy, thin as a rail with a hooked nose and a very pockmarked face. And he's wearing square glasses. And next to him is a little boy with dirty blonde hair that's very clearly been cut with a knife. And you can see he's been through some shit. His jaw's been broken, his nose has been broken, and he is really
Recently?
No, just
Really?
scars. Like
Oh,
you can
okay.
tell he has seen violence. And he was the one who had whistled with his fingers. The tall, thin man says, "You, keeper, you're looking for the coven."
Maybe. Who's asking?
I suppose that's what we're asking.
Well, I'm a sky marshal here on an investigation currently. Is there any chance that you could identify yourselves?
You see that a lot of people are beginning to make themselves scarce on the street. And Cuddles has moved to your side, Jack, and is very much in a position of like, yo, I'm here. You tell me, and I'll fucking kill this dude. And the tall man just says, "I'm Albert. That's Reese. Now, what the fuck do you want at the coven? And give me 2 reasons why I shouldn't, well, make this a bit more uncomfortable for you."
Well, one, think about this for a second. You're about to attack someone who has authority with another country, and that automatically puts you in the sights of all kinds of diplomatic problems between nations. So that's number one. Number two, I'm trying to find out what the heck you guys are doing with impure Gaia-side stealing from our miners that have already had enough problems getting out that far east of Covaland. And you guys are taking away the stuff that has not been refined yet. And I need to understand why.
I knew it.
Gwen, do you want to say something?
Yikes. What a charge to know.
And Albert, you see he has a gun at his hip, and his hand is kind of twitching towards it a little bit.
So is mine in response to that. Just getting ready.
Me too.
He pauses for a second. He looks over at the group, and he's taking things in. He pauses for a second, and he sees Cassandra, and he sees Gwen, and then he sees Atlas, and the wheels start turning, and then he looks at Cassandra and just says, "That man with you."
Of course. He's helping us with some tracking that we're doing. It's very, very official business, so if you please leave him alone. He's off the coven job. Yep. He's on this one now.
Roll deception.
Thank God.
Yeah.
Oh.
What do you have in deception, darling?
1 green. Against 2 purple?
Yeah, 2 perps for me, honey.
Okay. I got a threat. I did not succeed.
So, 1 threat. So, Albert looks at you, and then he looks at his little friend. The kid kind of tugs on Albert's sleeve, and he whispers something into his ear. Albert kind of looks up and around, and he goes, "Which one are you, Surrey Hawk?" "I ain't got all day. Which one?"
Who's asking?
I am.
No. Who's asking? Who's asking? We're all gonna die.
"You met my boss upstairs. He's asking."
All right, I'm sorry. What can I do for you?
"You vouch for him,
For Jack?
if that's his name."
Yeah, I guess.
You get.
I mean, fuck it, right? Like,
How much worse off can we get?
he kind of looks Jack up and down, and he looks at the Sky Cat, and there's just a heartbeat, and then 2, and then 3, and then he kind of holds up his hand and with one finger does like a twirly motion. All of a sudden, you see 9 people behind veils drop their veils.
Ooh.
And they were surrounding you with guns and wands and staves. A lot of magic implements that have been crudely made from like scraps of wood or discarded pieces of airships. One rudder has been turned into what looks like a magical shield that he's carrying on his arm. And there's also 2 snipers in buildings, and you see they stand up and holster their rifles. And he just says, "All right, you want to talk to the head of the coven? You'll follow me." And then he turns and he starts walking.
Well, that's all I'm trying to do is get that done here, so.
So I immediately, as Jack's saying that, just grab him by the arm and I'm like, listen, I know that, we don't always get along with these types of situations, but I need you to just be cool, okay? And just not do anything crazy for your old pal Travis and Suri, okay?
I will do the best that I can, but also I need to get the information for my investigation, and I will have that information. And if it is something that is as drastic as the fact that they are stealing this from all these poor people, these poor, desperate miners who I protect and help, then I'm going to be upset.
It was a yes and no question. Ah. Suri just walks forward.
This is going to be a disaster. I just say to myself as I just walk away, and I'm like, okay, how am I going to cover my ass in this situation?
Cuddles looks up at Jack and just goes, "Mow."
Of course we can take him if we have to. I'm just trying not to have that be an option on the table. Thank you very much.
Mow, mow.
We'll get you something to eat later, I promise. Okay, plus you don't know about these guys. They don't bathe, right? You don't want that in your mouth. Come on.
Mama. And then starts patting forward. Bless. Yeah, you guys go down the main street for a time. You notice it's a lot quieter, and people are not looking in your direction as this is going on, and are actively trying to avoid eye contact with you. And people are even shutting their windows and covering themselves up so that they're not even seen around you. And Reese, you see he whistles again, and Reese is the child. And he whistles again, and then there is a lamppost that is a couple of feet ahead of you, and it's very clearly new, which is weird. And you see that the lamppost sinks a little bit into the mesa and begins to spin and rotate. And as it spins and rotates, you see that there are stone stairs leading down below the first level. So it's basically the first level of the mesa is still slightly above the ground. This is deeper inside the mesa. So it's above ground level. Because remember, to get to the first floor, you still need to ascend stairs or take an elevator or even dock with an airship in order to get there. And so it's still elevated above the ground, but this is like ground level, but still not accessible from the outside. And as you descend, none of you have been here before. None of you. And so as you descend into the dark, you see that there are diacite crystals, small ones, and that are not, they're not of the high quality needed to power airships or, all that. They're certainly not the kind that Gwen's family deals in for their industries, but they're lighting the walls, and it's a very faint pink light that is glowing. And as you are moving through, again, this stone wall, and the smell here is different. Instead of that very unpleasant but very alive smell, as you're down here, it's cool and it's damp. But the smell, what stands out the most to you is it smells like rust. And as you're moving, there's some kind of decay that is unnatural. And as you're moving through the space, it feels like you're walking for minutes. Is there anything any of you would like to say to each other as you're walking? No one's telling you to shut up or anything. So you can converse if you're so inclined.
Gwen's not going to say anything, but you can literally see the vein popping out of her forehead, just trying to hold in the "I told you so." She already has one strike with Suri today. She doesn't want to push it, so she's just trying to hold it in. I knew that if we contacted him, that everything would end up this way. So she's not happy, but very quiet.
I'm just over talking with Suri. So you found these letters, and you finally figured out who the authors are with this Magnuson guy or whatever. So that's what you guys have been up to? Not kidnapping? Nothing that I gotta worry about?
I've never kidnapped anyone in my life, Jack.
Well,
now we both know that's a lie.
Well, yeah, maybe. And then I look at Travis and I go, shh, shh, No.
That was just a passing thought that I didn't even mean to say, and it just kind of left my mouth, and I'm like, oh, right.
Gwen just raises an eyebrow.
Y'all forget I have both y'all's rap sheets, all right? Not to mention the last time I ended up in Illuminario because of all y'all, okay? And you're still going to give me this?
I'm happy you're here to help us, Jack.
So...
Teacher, let this be the last lesson I have to learn with Captain Hawk and Travis.
Oh, God. Cassandra, Atlas, you guys have anything going on?
I think I, at some point, have lit a cigarette. I'm just like, might as well. Seems like the kind of place that's already covered in a bunch of smoke.
Yeah. Cassandra, what's going through your head, baby?
Cassandra is keeping an eye on her friend Gwen. Just making sure she's not about to, like, do something stupid. But also making sure that,
That's wise.
like, she knows that Gwen has she doesn't know all the details, but she does know that Gwen has a bit of a history when it comes to the coven. And so she's just kind of keeping an eye on her and just listening at this point. And she sort of has under her gloves, like, a bit of a glow ready just in case.
So by that, you mean you're preparing to cast spells?
Just in case, yeah.
Okay. Do you have your staff with you?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you keep going down this tunnel for a while, and then all of a sudden, you guys take a very sharp turn, and seemingly out of nowhere, this defies physics as far as you know, which of course means magical shenanigans. But you come through here and you turn, and suddenly it's brilliant light, and it honestly takes you all a bit by surprise. Just like noon daylight light after being in such a dark space. And when your vision clears, it's beautiful. They have built houses from discarded airship parts. They have built them from rejected Gaiacite. You can see some buildings are actually crafted from large golems, Magitech automatons, and it's this beautiful pink light, as at the center of the town, you see there is a massive Gaiacite tree of the pink Gaiacite that just spreads. It looks like it grows from the ground directly into it, and sparks of magic are flying off of it. And the thrum of power around you, it feels like everybody for 1,000 miles should be able to sense this. There is intense magical energy here, but you weren't even aware of it until you went around the corner. And you see inside this mesa, on this floor, seemingly defying physics, is the Coven. And there are hundreds of houses. The Coven is a community. And you see that this is a community that is armed. Even children are walking around with guns. And as you round the corner, as the light, as your eyes adjust to the brightness, you see that there is a full collection of battle mages and gunners that are there. And one of them is even on a Magitech turret looking at you. And there's Albert. He flags them down, just kind of waves at them, and it decompresses for a while. He moves through and he says, "We're taking a bit of a shortcut. No way in fuck are we having a meeting here." A completely changed accent. Sorry about that, mate.
I was like, what?
No.
You're doing
Come on,
You're
come on,
doing
Chris.
Oliver Ronan.
Get your
Yeah.
shit
That's
together.
Oliver Ronan's voice.
Who is this brand new character we've never seen before?
I was like, yeah, what?
I'm Albert's brother, Bertie. He's Al, I'm Bert. It's complicated.
Boo.
No, but Mitch, keep that in. Al, in his Scottish accent, tells you to follow him, and you see that there are seemingly endless side streets, and the side streets lead to different areas of the base. And when I say that, I mean the side streets will run back away from the city into different exits. No one comes through the exits. It is only people exiting through them. The only way people can enter is through the way you guys came in. So there's a lot of ways to get out, but only one way to get in. And eventually they lead you through a side passage. You hear Reese whispering, and he's just like, "Shouldn't we have blindfolded them? shouldn't we have done something to maybe keep this a little secret? And Albert's just like, if they're a problem, they'll die. It's not really much of an issue at this point, is it, Reese? And Reese is quiet. And eventually you come to a hallway that takes you out of the coven space. And again, dead quiet, no air movement, the scent of rust. And you begin climbing a ramp. And eventually the ramp opens up into an old tavern. And the tavern is pretty lively. There are people drinking there, and you come out from under the bar. Like from behind the bar, the ramp lets you out and comes through. And as you enter the tavern, it's fine. You know, like it's not exactly level 3 material, but it's well-polished wood that's maintained and nice new stools and tables. This clearly isn't a place where a lot of fights happen. There's a billiards table near the back. It's filled with smoke, and there's a square piano where someone's playing a jaunty tune and people are singing along. It's a community tavern. This is a place where people live and work and love. And you see, in a corner is Oliver Ronan. His so many scars on his face, his mustache, his signature bowler hat, and the wine red scar along his face marking him. And he stands up and he says, "Oi! Shut up! We have guests here. The speaker herself has decided to grace us with her presence." And there's a moment where everyone looks and then there's muttering. And then there's, "I said we have guests, let's show them a time." And immediately, you guys are ushered over to a table. There's food placed in front of you. There's drink. People are, like, slapping on the back, shaking your hands. You know, like, you are welcomed into the space. And then there's a huge plate of, like, cold cuts placed in front of you. And a mug of ale is slid into each of your hands. And Oliver sits across from you. And he puts a gun on the table. And he leans back and he looks at Jack and he says, "The fuck do you want, mate?"
Oh my god.
Well, I think you know exactly what I want. Everyone's been coming back and talking to you exactly about what it is, so why are we asking unnecessary questions?
Because I like first-hand information. I want to understand what you want from you, not from my mates.
Where is Masonry's unpurified Gaiacite?
Are you after the Gaiacite, or are you after the thieves who took it? Because those are not the same thing, I'm afraid.
The thing that I care the most about is that the families from Masonry get paid for their work. So if you happen to have the coin for it, then I won't have to look for the individuals that took it, nor the property they took.
I'm full sweating to even be associated with Jack right now. I can't, like, I'm just, like, knee deep in this ale or whatever, and I'm just eating furiously, like just so quick, just trying to ignore, like, trying to pretend that I'm not, like, didn't bring this guy here.
While I'm talking, I just have Cuddles just sitting next to me, just, like, almost, like, her head is up to my ribs, and I'm just, like, gently petting him as I'm just talking, just listening to the growl underneath my hand.
To clarify, Cuddles is indeed a him, but Connor and I had a cat growing up. She lived for like 15 years, and her name was Cuddles. So he and I may slip from time to time, but canonically Cuddles is a guy.
Yes, Cuddles' pronouns are he, they.
Yes.
Same.
Cuddles is still growling, but you also see that Cuddles' eyes keep darting towards the cold cuts. And it's like, I want some food. Can I? But Oliver leans back. And you see, he's looking you up and down. You see, he's really seeing you at this point. And he says, "My crew did not steal anything. We are not interested in robbing from people unless they're upstairs. Those are the only folks I'm interested in actually removing wealth from, material or otherwise. However, I am in possession of said Gaiacite. And I will be using it in an upcoming demonstration of ours. Now, obviously, I cannot give you the coin required, as I have already spent it on my well-earned goods. But I can give you the man who sold them to us, and I can give you an address of his."
Well, that's a fine start.
I dart a look towards Siri, and I just, like, in a moment of confusion, I'm like, That's not us, right? Like, we're not those people.
Suri's like, no. And then for a minute she goes, I don't think so. It's like that, like, oh.
Yeah, no. It's all a mental commute. We're not saying any of this out loud. It's just a mental check-in.
And at that point, there's a man who comes up, and you see his eyes have been horribly scarred. He's blind. And you see as he's moving, but he's moving fairly well throughout the space. And he's bald. And he leans down towards Oliver's ear, and he whispers something in. And Oliver nods, and he says, there are matters I need attending to. Have your drink, have your feed, and in a moment, you'll have an address on a scrap of paper. You can get the fuck out my club, eh?
I don't know if he's standing up, but Suri, like, kind of raises herself and is like, wait, please. Someone hurt my ship. Someone took our crystal.
Oh, yeah, that's the thing they're worried about, too.
And Oliver kind of glances over at Jack and is just like, dude, just shut up. And then looks back over at Suri and is just like, they hurt your ship?
They took the crystal. We can't go anywhere without it. And they left a cryptic message and killed Percy. Percy was the ship hand and no one will let us forget it. So we need your help.
And he says, I want to make one thing perfectly clear between us, Suri. I need you to listen extremely carefully. I don't owe you anything. I owe you no favours. I'm paying a favour to Garrett to supply you with room and board and to prevent you from falling into enemy hands, which thus far I have accomplished quite swimmingly, considering there's no way anyone could have followed you here to my understanding unless you know something I don't. So if I am to give my men a mission that may very well lead them into a position where they could very well be murdered for someone they don't know and frankly don't give a shit about, I'm going to need a very good reason or a large sum of zenith.
So here's my reason, Oliver, and quite frankly, you've been rude to me from the start. Seeing that we've been very prominent business partners in all of our ventures to you and the Coven, first of all, not having access to the Scarlet Wren is a very poor business decision on your end, considering that we supply you guys. So I think you owe me and Suri a little bit more respect, with all due respect.
Counterpoint, you two are known fugitives.
And you're not?
Oh, my activity has never been in question, and I'm 2 shades beyond criminality at this point, my friend. But what I am going to say, you have 2 extremely visible figures, and might I just add, it just so happens that the man you want me to launch an operation against, a certain Mr. Simon Godwin, his daughter happens to be here. And if I didn't know any better, this to me, missing Gaiacite from a ship, you previously wanting me to attack said proprietor of Gaiacite for most of the Empire, and the daughter therein, provided with other diplomatic figures, this smells wrong to me. It smells like a trap.
All we're asking is for a name, or if you have any connection to any idea of who might have done this to our ship. I'm not asking you to send your guys. I understand that would be poor judgment on our end. I wouldn't ask that of you. All I'm asking for is information.
2 things. 1, remind me, what did it say on the ship? What did he write in blood? Or they?
You must pay for the sins of Solaris or something like that.
Does Oliver know Arcane?
He would know the name. He would not have interacted with Arcane on a personal level. No, Oliver has only been running the Coven for a little over a year now. He's been a member of the Coven for a long time. But when Arcane was doing business, Oliver and him would not have done business, but it's a name of a friend kind of thing.
Yeah, I was gonna try and... Okay, so anyway, so Suri looks him dead in the eye and goes, how about this? There was a message in blood on the hull. It said, you will pay for the sins of Solaris. Give us something about that. If you don't want to help us get our ship back, at least give us one thing. We've done business for a very long time.
Oh, yeah. We have done business for a very long time. Business is concluded.
Oliver, you are insufferable! And she's pissed. She stands full, and I know everybody's gonna fucking draw their weapons, but she is done.
Cassandra's just gonna pop in and just say, wait, did you...
Wow, very profound.
Yeah, thanks.
The speaker, ladies and gentlemen.
That's just what the teacher was trying to tell us, all right?
And thus the teacher spoke unto man.
Okay. Okay. You are supposed to protect us. Someone has charged you to protect us. And do you think that you can protect us when there is someone who is coming after us to pay for the sins of Solaris? Don't you think, if you are supposed to be keeping us safe and sound, that you ought to somehow find out, or at least give us a hint, so we can find out who's coming after us and murdering people and mooring us here?
Roll negotiation.
That was good.
Oh, but I didn't get a roll in the go. I thought I made good points, Mr. Dungeon Daddy. God damn it. I was like, I'm going to make this about business. And you're just like, fuck you, business done. Wow, I see how it is. All right.
Against what?
3 purple.
Suri is 100% turned on this entire conversation, though. She's like, yep, that's the dude.
Yuck, yeah. 4 success, 2 threat, which I believe 3 of the success turn into a...
No, it's an advantage turn into triumph, not success.
Oh.
Yeah.
Damn.
You did succeed, though. Oliver looks at you and he looks kind of... He's viewing you in new eyes now. And he's looking at you. He's thinking about it. He kind of inclines his head and he goes, "You bring up a valid point, Madam Speaker. I want to make something abundantly clear to the two of you." And he points to Suri and Travis. "I am not in the business of having friends. I am not in the business of maintaining relationships with people who join causes for coin. You didn't help the coven out of the goodness of your heart. You did it because we paid you. You did it because we put coin in your pocket. That's not loyalty. That's convenience." He raises a finger and he just says, "Now, when I have a job for you, I will put coin in your pocket and then we can work. But until then, we're not friends. We're not mates. We're not technically allies at this point, as far as I'm concerned. As far as I'm concerned, you're a free agent. You work for me for money. You used to say you won't work for them for money. I don't know you. I like you. That I'll say. I'd be sad if you died. And because of that, I will give you safe harbor. I will give you equipment that you need, and I will give you access to our network so you may move freely about. That is the extent of what I can give you with what you have."
Suri just sits down. She's so over this conversation. Pure anger in her soul. She just sits down and chugs her drink.
At this point, Atlas finishes whatever drink that they're on, pulls out his box of cigarettes, offers a cigarette to Ronan.
Ronan looks, and he takes it. You see, he snaps his fingers, and there's a small firelight that comes out of his hand, and he offers to light Atlas a cigarette.
I lean in to light the cigarette. As I do, I reference the jacket that I'm wearing, my Archaeologist Society jacket, rather, and I mentioned to him, as you know, we have a pseudo-working relationship with the Coven, and I know the work that you do is very, very tough and very tiring, but, you know, I know that you must hear this a lot, but we are dealing with a very sensitive subject and I look to everybody, and with all the love in my heart, I say, with very sensitive people.
Oh, shit.
And I say, I hope you know that even though it seems as though it is tough, I do respect you and everything you have done to help these people. And I motion to everyone else, like everyone around in the bar. I understand that that's tough, and just know that we are all working together here.
Are you trying to accomplish something with this?
I'm trying to ease tension because it's high.
Atlas is about to get thrown off the ship.
Roll charm.
What do I roll it against?
2 purples and a black.
Oh, God.
Oof, this ain't gonna happen. 1 failure and 1 advantage.
Oh.
Okay. Could have been worse.
He looks at you and he smiles. He smiles a bit, and he kind of nods to you. He looks over at Suri, and he looks over at Travis. He kind of leans back, and he takes a pull on the cigarette. And you see he pulls out a pocket watch, and he looks at the time. He leans forward, and he says, "If I hear something, you'll know."
Thank you. Jesus. Or whatever the higher power is.
Teacher.
Teacher. That's what I say. I'm like.
And he says, but I need you to understand, well, upstairs is going to get very busy thanks to the Gaia site we acquired in not very long from now. It could be that finding your particular brand might be a bit difficult to find. But you have my word. If I hear, I'll let you know.
Wonderful. Oliver, a pleasure doing business with you, as always, because need I remind you, we are business associates. And I just sort of like drink from my ale and I'm like put my hand on my forehead.
Oliver kind of looks at you. He says, Mr. Evans, oh, you're every bit the man I've heard. He looks at Jack and he says, now, what are you going to be doing to the man that I'll give you? I'm giving you an address, and I'm giving you where he keeps his money and where we've met him. I'll set up an arrangement. You grab him. Pish posh. You taking him? You killing him? What do you plan on doing with him?
My job, turning him in back to the exchange.
Oh, Jesus. Oh, teacher.
That's, not exactly what I had in mind with him. See, he represents a particular dangling end in my operation, and I wouldn't mind if that particular end were severed before I began my little party upstairs. Makes things a bit neater for me, if you catch my meaning.
I'm going to actively ignore your meaning if you're trying to convince someone of the law to commit murder for you. No, that's not how this works.
Gwen rolls her eyes.
Oliver looks at you, and at this point, some of the joviality has gone out of his eyes, and he's looking at you, and now he says, it's not very often lawkeepers such as yourself leave this establishment. Do you know that?
I was not aware of that fact. I was pretty sure most lawkeepers just stay away from the coven. We usually go for something more higher threatening.
Oh my god.
No.
Oh, shit.
I immediately like go to the bar area and I just start, I'm like, give me a double of whatever you have.
I start throwing cold cuts at Cuddles.
And Oliver looks at you, and it's a heartbeat, and then two, and then he just fucking busts a gut laughing. He just I like you, Marshall. I like you very much.
I think his name is Jack.
Marshall. So, you take this man, you take him to the exchange. You have transportation out of here yet? I understand your mates here are landlocked for the time being, so to speak.
If I need to, I can get out of here, but I'm not looking to leave just yet.
What's keeping you?
Well, my man.
Aside from that, mate, once you grab him, are you going to be out of here?
I'm not going to discuss my day with you, sir.
No, he's going to help us. He's going to help us find whoever's done this to the Wren.
I'm going to help them?
Yes, you are going to help us.
And at this point, Oliver stands up and he says, it sounds like you mates have something you need to discuss. My friends will be over shortly with the name and the address for you on that bit of paper I mentioned. Until then, cheerio. And he tips his hat and he walks back.
Okay, what do you mean that I'm here to help you? I have one job and one job only, all right? I brought Cuddles. She smelled the murder blood. She took you here, all right? That's my job done. So what are you talking about?
You're in it now.
What do you mean that's your job done? No, aren't you a marshal here to serve and protect?
Yes, and my duty is to serve and protect those of East Covalent, specifically those down in Morgan that had their impure Gaiacite stolen, so that they can actually eat next week.
And you're doing that, and then you'll be done doing that. You can wire the money however that works. Cuddles can fly it over, I don't know. But you've got to help us make sure that we find whoever's done this. Clearly there's some things about to go down, or up, rather, and you as a lawman are sworn to serve and protect not only those who are in East Coveland, but also whoever's around, right? Isn't that part of the oath or something? That's got to be part of some sort of oath. Someone took some time. So my point is, you've got to stay and you've got to help us. And do you believe in the teacher?
Just slow down, ma'am. All right, well, I guess Cuddles and I can stay a little longer if that's what's necessary. But we're finding your killer, and then I gotta take this guy back.
Once we find the killer and we find the Gaiacite, so we are no longer landlocked, you're free to go.
So, actually, I was thinking, I think you should stick with us. We might need your services. We might need you, unfortunately, and I think it would be a benefit if you stuck with us.
At the bar, I just go, "What?" from like a distance.
Yes, Travis's reaction is mine, precisely.
Listen, I don't want it any more than you. But we need your skills, unfortunately. And I think you should stick with us.
You know, every single time that I happen to hang out with you and Travis up there on the Wren, always some kind of craziness comes down, okay? That was not in my agenda for the month, with some craziness.
And Cuddles paws at your thigh with his huge paws and just goes, "Mama."
You know what I mean, okay? We have things that we have to focus on here.
And he looks pointedly at Cassandra and just goes, "Oh."
Look, do we even try to get involved in something like this with someone so high ranked? I mean, come on now, this is crazy.
Oliver has left the table. He's gone doing his other thing. And Cuddles looks at Jack and kind of bats at Jack's chest with Cuddles' huge fucking paws. And there's the equivalent, like the learner equivalent of a cross around your neck, which is kind of an abstract picture of a sunrise. Kind of looks like a book opening. So it's in like a V shape. There's a circle at the base, I guess, of the V, and then lines coming out of it. So it's meant to symbolize education and also light. And Cuddles like bats at that, and then looks over at Cassandra, and then bats at that again, and then looks at you.
I know, but what about the others? We have to get that stuff back, okay? Come on, you know that Chuck is waiting for us, all right? Don't we want to help out Chuck?
I promise you will. You'll get all the money back to them. We'll go see this man, and you can do whatever you want to him, but probably not kill him. That doesn't seem like a good idea. But that's just me, what I'm saying. So, but if you, once you're done with that, you get this man's money, you send it on back, that's your job done. That's keeping your responsibility and all of your promises, and then you can do your duty and help the dictatarian.
Since it's the dictatarian asking, I suppose that's... All right, we can put him on hold for a minute. All right, we'll focus on what it is that you need help with. Instructor Willen, jeez. Teacher Willen.
Suri looks over at Gwen and goes, "You've been oddly silent. What are you thinking?"
A cat.
I'm sorry, were you talking to Gwen?
Yes. Oh, yes.
Oh, funny you should ask. So Gwen's head is on the table. And Cassandra looks over, and Cassandra recognizes from Gwen's rebellious days at religion camp that this girl is drunk.
Oh, shit.
She's like gone. Like she's so drunk that her head is on the table. And while y'all were working all this out, Gwen was just getting plastered, just drinking ale after ale. You notice that there's a bunch of empty tankards next to her.
I love it.
I'll tell you now that it was nerves. Is really nervous to be back in the coven and is really afraid of being recognized by certain people. And she's still shaken from the note she got from that secretary,
Sheila.
And she's afraid of being noticed. So she decided drinking was the answer.
Well, Tati, it's funny you should say that.
Oh, no.
Because I happen to have a
No.
little thing called a story point over here that I can spend. Story points in Genesis are ways that you can twist fate to alter the story, so to speak. And I wasn't planning on doing this, but you sure did remind me.
Oh, no.
So, well, our heroes can twist story points to enable them to do really kick-ass things or to alter certain things in their favor. I can do the opposite, usually in the form of increasing the difficulty of rolls. So, the person who brings over the note to Jack comes over, and it's a young woman, and she has long dark hair that she's pulled back into a ponytail, and she has dark eyes, and just kind of this elfin face that's almost impish. Like, you look at this face and it's like, yeah, I'm cool. You want to get into trouble? Kind of face. And comes over and hands Jack the note and looks at Gwen. And when she sees Gwen, she actually hands the note to Jack, and as she's leaving away, she actually stumbles a little bit and she knocks over some of the tankards that were at the table and looks at Gwen and just says, "What the fuck are you doing here?"
You know, when something so scary happens that you sober up, that is what happens to Gwen. And Gwen her whole face is tomato red. Just the whole thing goes red. She is looking up at this girl, terrified, and she vomits.
Oh, no!
All over the floor.
Who's directly across from her? Who gets it?
Well, I've been at the bar, so sorry, it ain't me.
I'm gonna say it's Atlas.
Of course it's Atlas.
That I could get behind.
And Gwen is gonna run to the bathroom. Because that is what you do when you're drunk and don't want to confront your past.
And then BFF, well, at least, BF. Well,
They're BFFs.
I was hoping.
just F. I guess we're BFFs now.
I was hoping you'd follow me. Yeah.
Anyway, I'm gonna follow her.
Thank you.
So as you both are heading to the bathroom, you hear there is one of the sharp whistles, followed by 2 raps on the door, and this is clearly a signal to the occupants inside. And certain members immediately throw up glamours, masking themselves. The bar is quiet for a few moments, and then you hear heavy, booted footsteps outside, and it's intimidating as hell. They're like the footsteps of Death himself outside. The door creaks open, and you see the 2 masked forms of Inquisitors, members of the Empire specifically tasked with hunting criminal mages. And they're looking around the space.
Well, how the fuck did they get in here?
This is just one of the pubs. This is not the city of the Coven.
Oh, God.
Oh, I see. Okay, I got you. I follow you.
Yeah, this is a place of business. And they're looking around, and the masks cover their faces entirely. There's no visual descriptions. And fortunately, Cassandra and Gwen are in the bathroom, and they're looking around the space, and there are 2 of them. One is shorter and is wearing silver and blue robes and has a mask of pure silver covering their face. The other is huge, 6'4", super fucking jacked, like John Cena-esque motherfucker, and is wearing robes of crimson and gold, but armor-plated as well. Think like Jedi Knight wearing armor type deal, and a mask of pure gold. And those of you who are still in the bar would immediately recognize the younger one as a dove. The smaller one is a dove, which is an inquisitor who specializes in manipulating emotions and getting into your head and messing around that way. And the other is a hawk. And hawks are some of the most dangerous, badass battle mages on the planet. And they're looking around, and I'm gonna need everybody, even the two of you that are in the bathroom, I need you to make a discipline check for me.
And we still have our, like, cloaking things on, right? Our outfits. We haven't changed clothes.
Yeah, we have our outfits.
Yeah, but they don't give a shit about you.
Oh, great.
In that capacity. No, they don't care about you.
What are we rolling against?
What's the difficulty?
So the discipline is going to be against 3 reds.
Okay, great. I got 5 threat and 1 advantage.
5 failure, 1 advantage.
Oh, 5 failure.
Yeah.
Yeah, I gotcha. That's way worse.
I got 3 failures.
Travis failed, Atlas failed, Jack failed but got advantage.
I was going to say I'm like 3 failures, but 3 advantages. Yeah.
Gwen rolled 3 failure, 2 advantage. Suriel rolled 1 fail. And Cassandra rolled 4 success and 2 threat.
So we were rough.
So everyone got steamrolled except for Cassandra, our little cinnamon roll.
Suri and Atlas, y'all got hit the hardest.
Great.
But what happens is you feel them in your mind. You feel them going through your thoughts, picking through it. And Cassandra, you sense this, and it's a similar, very malicious, but a similar magic to what you do. It's the same field of magic because you also manipulate emotions, but for positive ways. You bring people hope or calm them down, that kind of thing. This is the same magic used for malicious ends. So you recognize it, and you're able to right away defend against it. The rest of you begin just this awful sensation of horrible vulnerability as people are looking around. Jack, Travis, and Gwen, y'all are successfully, after a moment, you're able to kind of like push them away. But you do notice, for everybody that isn't Cassandra, you notice that one memory that they settle on for each of you is of the lamppost that descended for you guys to enter into the mesa.
Ah, shit.
Wait, are we not still down there?
No, we covered that. You came up aboard, and now you're in a tavern that's
I'm
not in
stupid.
the Coven City.
Okay, gotcha.
No, you're fine. You're
I
fine.
thought we were still in that bar.
No.
No, it's okay. I was confused too. Don't worry.
We're
No,
in
no.
a different bar.
Yeah,
Got
no,
it.
he even said we wouldn't meet with you down here. This is just a shortcut that we can take. So you go through that, and they catch the lamppost from each of your minds. It is at that moment, Gwen, the mark on your neck gets that shot of ice through it again. Cassandra, you see all of a sudden Gwen's eyes glow violet. And from Gwen, there is a psionic push that comes back. And all of a sudden, both Inquisitors are flown against the wall and are pinned there. And there's a couple of moments of silence where no one knows what the fuck is going on. And all of a sudden, Coven members leap up, go to the Inquisitors, and slit their throats.
Oh my god.
While they're in this moment. And Gwen, near your ear, you hear the voice of the man with the violet eyes, as though he's in the room with you. And he says, "The sins of Solaris. He attempted to stop the rising, Guinevere. You must stop the rising." And that is where we are ending today's session.
What? Come on, Chris.
Oh my
Are you shitting me?
Jesus Christ.
Fuck.
Tati's just looking at me like totally gobsmacked, her jaws down.
Oh my god.
That was awesome.
I'm mad. I'm logging off.
Whoa.
This is not how you impress your ex. Throwing up everywhere, like
It's briefly magic warlock powers.
ah!
Oh god. So yeah, congratulations, gang. Season 2, episode 1. I hope you guys had as much fun as I did. As always.
Wait. Sorry.
Go ahead.
I just want all the folks at home to know
Yes.
Connor who plays Jack Harris, is wearing a shirt right now that says Authority 0 on it.
Oh my god.
Oh my god!
Look, I am playing a character who is a cop. That does not mean I am a cop. Also, Authority 0 is a great pop punk band or hardcore punk band.
I'll also throw out the one time that Connor was in a game that I was running. He also played a cop.
I was also a cop. But my background was an EMT. It was a revenge story, okay? It was different. And it's not my fault that every single time I play a campaign, everyone's just like, oh yeah, chaotic neutral or lawful neutral. And I'm the one coming in that's just like, I could be lawful good. I'm okay with that. Except for Cassandra, we have one of those, so.
Sounds like some shit a cop would say.
Fuck you.
Oh, God. Such chaos. Such beautiful chaos. Anyways, as always, at the end of an episode, we have our MVP and our Embodiment Award. As a refresher, the players vote on who they felt for the MVP, who mechanically played the best, who, using the mechanics of the game, moved us forward towards the goal the best. And we have Embodiment, who embodied the essence of their character the best, who roleplayed and had some really great scenes in that regard. As always, I do not get a vote. If there is a tie, both players win. So let's start with MVP. Who mechanically...
Atlas.
I was about to say Atlas. Atlas, 100%.
It sounds like it's unanimous. All right,
Oh, wow.
congratulations, Mike. You win MVP.
Hey, thank you.
And now Embodiment Award. Who do we think wins Embodiment?
Jack.
Oh, it's gotta be Jack.
Oh, I was going to say Travis.
Yeah, Connor.
Oh, well, thank you. I was going to say Travis. Okay.
Nah, dog. You're perfect.
Thank you. Definitely not perfect. Not even close. And that was a rocky start, but appreciate it.
Rootin', tootin', shooting, baby.
Just coming out here being all odd, partner.
I want to know what the people listening think. Who do they think should win these things too, you know? Like,
Please leave comments. Let us know. Hit us up on Instagram.
We demand.
We love to know your thoughts
Yeah.
about what's going on. Thank you so much for the kind comments. And if you're here, thanks for joining us for season 2. The adventures of the Wren and her crew have only just begun. Crippled though she may be, she's down, but she's not out. Not while Suri and Travis draw breath.
She down, but she not out.
All right, everyone. Thank you. Sharon, did you want to say something?
No, I was just going to say at a Troupe of Players on Instagram.
Everyone, we love you so much. Thank you for joining us, and we'll see you next episode. And until then, stay safe and be well.
Hey, shout out to our editor, Mitch.
Mitch!
Mitch,
Yeah,
you're the best. You're the fucking best. I love you, Mitchell. You've been listening to a Troupe of Players, an actual play podcast, featuring Mike Jones, Tatiana Bustamante, Connor Maclean, Alex Koza, Sharon Ray Ryan, Tyler Lynch, and Chris Maclean. Editing for this episode provided by Mitchel Shire. Official character art by Don Ferrer. Logo by Coleman Connell. Like our show? Help it grow. Leave a review and follow us on Instagram, TikTok, and Twitter at A Troupe of Players, or send us an email at atroupeofplayers@gmail.com. As always, thank you for listening.